Hey guys, how you doing? It's Kevtech here, bringing you another video on information technology. I hope you're having a good day. Happy Sunday. Happy Mother's Day. And today I want to go over my first job in IT. And guess what my salary was? $9 an hour. Yes, that's right, $9 an hour. And what did I do in my first job? And I'm going to tell you my experience and everything. And before I get into that, if you're new to my channel, I do IT videos, I do CompTIA videos, I talk about how to get into desktop support, tech support. I go live here and there on Saturday where we do live hands-on training as well. So as always, rate, comment, subscribe, you know the drill. Hit the notification bell, that way you know when I go live. Because sometimes I do go live on random days for no reason. It's just me, so. Rate, comment, subscribe, the notification bell, I greatly appreciate it, okay? So, let's get right into it. Some people don't like me when I drink coffee, but that's my signature. I'm sorry about that. It's just a coffee thing. It's the way I am. So anyway, my first job in IT, because I had someone ask me this. I had a bunch of people ask me that same question. What was your first job in IT, Kevin? You never talked about it, or you did talk about it a little bit briefly. So I'm going to tell you my experience, and hopefully this video is not too long, because I don't want to make this too long and bore you to death. So let me tell you exactly what happened to me. So I got my first job as a field technician. So my job position was a field technician for the Department of Education. So I worked for the Department of Education, and basically I was a field tech. So as a field technician, you are responsible for fixing computers, fixing laptops, fixing printers, installing programs, and also troubleshooting programs, and all level 1 stuff. In this position, I did not do Active Directory, I did not do servers, I did not do anything to do with Server 2012, password reset, any of those things that you think of that are on a server. I didn't do any of that. I learned that on my own, by the way, just in case people were wondering. It's like, how do you learn that? So I learned it on my own. But besides that, in this job, I was a field technician. So as a field technician, you are responsible for traveling to the 5 boroughs of New York. So anyone that doesn't know me, I work in New York. I live in New York. I first started my first job in IT in New York. So I was responsible for traveling from site to site. So I'll give you an example, and I'm going to tell you the truth. I'm going to be honest with you. This video, I'm going to be as honest with you as much as possible. There's no reason for me to lie to you. So when I first started this job and I got the job, I had to make a deal with the company that I have to get my CompTIA A+ in the first 60 to 90 days, and if I don't do that, I get fired from the job, or I have to leave the job immediately. You have to get certified within those 60 to 90 days. I got the certification, I got certified, so I didn't have that issue. But other people did have that issue where, unfortunately, some of my colleagues they didn't complete the requirements, and they got laid off the company because of that. And I worked as an intern, so I was an intern for 2 months. And they saw how I worked, they saw how I did, and they hired me full time. So in case anyone's wondering that I got the job on the spot, no, I did not get the job on the spot. I had to work as an intern for 2 months. They had to see how I worked. Then they're like, nah, we like this guy, so let's hire him full time. So they hired me full time, and I started getting paid after that. I didn't get paid for 2 months, just so you guys know. Because some people think that, you know. So my first job was not the easiest job in the world, I'm being honest with you. So I got the position, and like, okay, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to be responsible for fixing computers, fixing laptops, fixing printers, installing computers, installing laptops, installing printers, and then I'm like, alright, that's fine. So what's going to happen next? So yeah, as a field technician, you're responsible for traveling to borough to borough. The problem is that they will, I'll give you, so if you guys know anything about New York is extremely big. It's not like a small state, it's a giant state. So they will literally send me from, because I live in Queens. I don't even live in Manhattan. I don't even live in the Bronx. So they would send me to Queens. I'm in Queens, and they would send me all the way to the Bronx. So I had to wake up at 4 or 5 in the morning, and I had to be there at 7:30, 8 a.m. in the morning. And that was the struggle for me. Every single day, I had to wake up at 5, 4 in the morning, just so I could be on early and on time, taking the public transportation, because they wouldn't pay for a car or any of that. Taking public transportation just for me to be doing a fix for somebody as a field technician in another borough, if that makes sense. So they send you the schedule like in the afternoon. Every afternoon they'll send you the schedule. So Kevin, I need you to be here tomorrow, first thing tomorrow at 8 a.m. Someone's having an issue with their Lenovo ThinkPad laptop. I need you to fix that for them. They're having issues with their keyboard or something like that. I'm like, alright, here we go. So then I will literally wake up at 4:30, 5 a.m. and I had to be there at 7:30, 8 a.m. If I'm not there at that time, they will they will say something to you. And how will they do that? Basically, you email the dispatcher of the company, of your company, and you let everyone know that you're actually there, you're actually on time, and you're actually in that area. You have to email a certain email group, and basically that's how they know that you're actually there. So I had to be there super duper early, and that was like one of the biggest things that really, I mean, I didn't like waking up that early, obviously. And then eventually, like later on in the year, they're like, you know, this doesn't make any sense. Why are we sending someone from Queens to the Bronx when we have people that actually work in the Bronx? So let's just send someone that's in the Bronx to work in the Bronx. And then finally they did that with me. They sent me to work in Queens so I could work in Queens. So I was fixing computers, I was fixing laptops, changing LCDs, changing hard drives, changing memory. This job is all hardware related stuff, by the way, in case you're wondering. I was changing fusers, I was changing the pickup rollers, I was changing the assembly rollers, I was changing the fuser parts, the wheels, everything, the memory on the printer. Yes, a printer does have memory, in case anyone was wondering. The circuit board on the printer, changing the tray, fixing parts inside the printer in and out, and then I was basically doing that the entire time, fixing printers, fixing computers, fixing laptops. But also part of this job, and keep in mind how much I was making, part of this job I was also installing. So we had to install stuff. So like, you would have a typical day for us would be, I'll give you something hypothetical example. This actually is real. We need to install 250 desktops in one day, from 8 a.m. to 3 p.m. So then we were in a group of 5 or 6 people, not even just me, like a bunch of people, like 5, 6 people, and we had to install 250 computers in one day. You know how difficult that is for you to install 250 computers, and there's like 6, 8, 10 floors in a school, and basically there's no elevator, and you have to go up and down the stairs like 1,000 times. Like, you know, that's basically our environment. That's basically what I had to do, and I'm like, this is my first job, and I'm like, man, this job sucks, man. I hate this job. And then I'm like, why did I sign up for this? Why did I sign up for this IT job or IT gig? I thought this was going to be a lot easier. I thought this would be a lot better. And the reality of IT is that, no, it's not. I'm being honest with you. I mean, it's not going to be easy. You're going to be required to go underneath a desk, to unplug a cable. You're going to be required to move a monitor for someone. You're going to be required to move a keyboard for someone. You're going to be required to move a mouse for someone. You're going to be required to move someone's desk from point A to point B. You're going to be required to help somebody with their keyboard, their mouse. You're going to be required to look at someone's laptop. You're going to be required to touch someone's equipment, even though it's filthy and dirty. You're going to be required to go underneath a desk where there's a bunch of shoes in the desk on the floor, and you have to move the shoes out of the way, or bags under the way, or a fan under the way, and a bunch of stuff under the way. And you have to help them plug something in, plug something out. Something on the floor. So that's basically what I was dealing with every single day, for at least a year and a half or something like that. I worked like a year and a half in that company. Then I'm like, I was miserable because, and I'm being honest with you, I was miserable because I felt like I was doing the same thing over and over again, fixing the same computer parts, installing, reinstalling, installing stuff. It became very repetitive, finally, when they send me to a place called New Hyde Park, if anyone knows anything about New York, I was going there every single day and training there, and that's where I got my hands dirty. That's where I learned more about IT. That's where I learned about imaging. That's what I learned about adding a computer to a domain. That's where I learned a little bit of Active Directory, just a little bit, not a lot, a little tiny bit. So that's where I got the opportunity to learn as an individual. So they're like, we're going to send Kevin for training for 2 months. They sent me to this place called New Hyde Park. And I had to wake up at 5 in the morning to be over there. Same thing, 5 in the morning. And then I don't know why people put me in that situation. So I had to wake up at 5 in the morning. I had to be there super duper early. And I was taking the bus every day going over there, obviously, because there's no cars. And I had to be there. And I met this guy that he was like around, he was around my age. He was like really smart guy, like really smart, and he trained me how to do fixes for computers, for laptops, for printers. He showed me the ins and out of computers, in and out of laptops, and a bunch of other things. And I learned a lot from him, and that's how I became a a hardware specialist with computers and laptops, and I became certified with Lenovo. I became certified with HP products. I became certified with Dell products. I also in that office, or in that building that we were working in, I also became certified as Apple certified Macintosh technician, and I learned how to fix Apple products based on him, and he taught me that, and based on taking the exam as well and doing hands-on training by actually physically opening a laptop and closing a laptop. The old MacBooks, the old white MacBooks, the white ones, the ones that the school uses, you know, the old white MacBooks. And, you know, you have to open it and everything, to the batteries in the back of it, underneath it. Then the old laptops, you know, the old school laptops. And I was doing that for a bit, and it was a good learning experience for me. I'm letting you know right now. And I'm like, this job, after a while, you get used to it. After a while, you know the shortcuts, the in and outs of a job. And after being in the company for a while, you know how to make things a lot easier for you, so that you don't have to be stressed out like crazy. And that's what I learned. I learned that in this job. So after a few months, I learned how to make my life a lot easier. And when it comes to traveling, when it comes to fixing computers, when it comes to changing parts, when it comes to doing this and that and that and that. So that was basically my first job in IT, is the Department of Education. They treated you like crap, by the way. I'm just being honest with you. They didn't really treat me nice. No one was nice to me. People were mean to me. I give you another example. There's a lady that I was fixing her computer, and she said, and she didn't know I was Hispanic. She said, oh, and I just excuse my language for anyone that might get offended by this. I hope you guys don't get offended by this. There was a lady. She's like, oh, there was this idiot spick in the parking lot. He was getting in my way. It's a stupid spick, trying to break my car, blah blah blah. And then, you know, I was just listening to her and nodding my head. I'm like, oh, okay. Yeah, it's like Spanish people. I don't know why Hispanic people. I don't know why they're in this country. Blah 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 blah. And you know, because my last name's Italian, so people think I'm Italian, and I'm like, okay, you know, okay, and that's like an example. And then she didn't like African Americans, and she didn't like Hispanics, and I was like, I don't know how long you're gonna last in this job. Like, that's what I said in my head. I didn't tell her that, obviously, and she later on got fired, by the way. I'm just letting you know. So. People like that, and I had people dealing with me that didn't like me because I was Hispanic. I had people screaming at me because we're in charge of fixing stuff, and we're in charge of installing stuff, but we're not in charge of ordering your equipment. So people will order stuff online, or order stuff that's from our vendor, our company, and then they will order it, and they will order the incorrect product. They won't even check the details of the product. And then they're missing stuff in that product. They're missing stuff that, like for example, like duplex printing, and maybe it does single printing, like a printer. It does single printing, but it was supposed to do duplex printing, and they would complain about it. And then they would say that it was my fault that I came in and installed the printer. I'm like, miss, I'm not here because that printer, I didn't order it. Like, it wasn't. I'm here to install it. Like, whoever ordered it in your school, I'm not sure who ordered it for you, but they're the ones that ordered it. So I'm not in charge of ordering anything. I'm just in charge of installing it and setting it up and putting it on the network and adding the printer for everyone. I'm not in charge of any of that. So I'm not sure who ordered it for you, and then it's not up to me. It's whoever ordered it for you, and that's basically it. And I would get yelled at all the time because of that, because people will order stuff and then they will blame the IT person when we have nothing to do with it, and you get screamed and yelled at. And that's like one example. Another example was that we would install a giant Lexmark printer, the big giant printers, and sometimes we have people that move stuff for us, and they would move it and put it on the wrong floor. So we have to physically carry it with 2 other people and bring it to a different floor, because it has like 5 or 6 trays, 4, 5, 6 trays. It's extremely heavy, and you can break your back doing that. So I asked for help, and we'll carry it all together. It's stuff like that. So when I first started my first IT job, I didn't like it. But then when I was working in the work environment, and this is something that I hope you guys listen to what I'm saying right now. When I worked in this environment, I said, this is my first IT job. I shouldn't be complaining. I have a job. I'm getting experience from this. No matter what kind of experience it is, I will succeed in this job. I will try my best. I will not try to leave my job. And the turnover was crazy, because there was like 20, 30, 40 people leaving the job because they didn't like the job. And I was still stuck in that job, by the way. And where I am today, what I'm doing right now, where I am today is because of that first job in IT. And the people that I know that left the company or left the job, they're not where I am today. They're still doing help desk, or they're still doing level 1 support. They're still doing field technician. They're still doing PC technician. You know, so just think of it that way. Like, even though it's a lot of work, even though there's a lot going on in that job, even though you have a lot of responsibility and you're not getting paid enough to do what you're doing, at the end of the day, it's just experience. The experience is super important. So I thought about that while I was working, because my teacher would tell me, like, Kevin, just get the experience, go in and get out, and then look for your next job. And then when I did that, I went in, I did a year and a half, and I left the job and I doubled my salary. If you guys don't know, I watched my other video, I doubled my salary and I went up to $22 an hour. From $9 an hour to $22 an hour. So, and that's it. That's pretty much my story on being a field technician for the Department of Education, making $9 an hour. That's my story, because people were asking me about this, and that's my story. And I have a lot of stories about this job, and you know, it would have to be like a 5-hour video. I'm not gonna do that in this today with you guys, okay? So anyway, with that being said, it's just a random video about me working as a field technician in the Department of Education. I know people are not gonna. Some people might not like this video. They want me to go more technical, do more technical videos, but some people were asking me questions about this, so I just want to answer that question and tell you, and be honest with you, and tell you what's the reality of working your first job. All right. Depends where you work also, remember that, alright? So with that being said, I hope you guys have a great day. As always, rate, comment, subscribe, give me a thumbs up. I greatly appreciate it. And this is just an honest video of working as a field technician for the Department of Education, alright? And I hope you guys have a wonderful day. Take care. Happy Mother's Day and later, and happy Sunday. Peace. Later.